And welcome, one and all, back to another edition of the That Comedy Podcast. I'm your host, DJ Marcus, and you were joining me live in the That Comedy Studios. But I'm never alone. I'm with my boy, Joey LaFaro. Joe, say hello to people.
I hurt. I'm in pain.
Huh? You
My
hurt?
body hurts.
Your body hurts.
Yeah.
Oh, that's no good.
It's a good hurt. It's
Sexual hurt?
no,
Oh,
not even a little bit.
damn. I'm sorry to hear that. Sexual healing helps, though.
Physical. I don't know if that would help. My rib meat hurts.
Rib meat?
Rib meat. Yep, you heard me right.
What the hell is rib meat?
I didn't know, but apparently there's muscles there.
Okay, well, hopefully someone can work that out for you, Joey.
Mm.
We do have a special guest this week, Joey.
Yes, we do.
Our special guest this week, joining us on the CPMMA Fighting Line, is Apple Brown Betty. Welcome to the That Comedy Podcast.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, it is definitely our pleasure to have you on. We're going to sit down a little later tonight, this evening.
I'm scared now because you got her name right, and I don't know how to handle that.
Okay, her name was more simple than most. It wasn't a bunch of extra syllables that I didn't need to perform, as well as it wasn't like
You didn't add unnecessary syllables either.
it wasn't a tongue twister like Leo Lee.
It's still not a tester. You're making it one unnecessarily.
Oh man, but yes, so we're gonna sit down later. We're gonna segment number 2. We're gonna sit down and have a conversation with Ms. Apple Brown Betty just to get to know her. She's new to that comedy world. Hope she doesn't run screaming into the night after she gets off this podcast, because we're a little different. We're a little dangerous sometimes. We do stuff a little off.
Yeah.
I ain't scared.
Okay,
That's
well,
good.
hey, then that's a good thing. Man, but Joe, it's been a long week, man.
Yes, it has.
So remember last week when I told you that
It's been long. I don't remember last week. Please refresh me.
Remember last week when I told you that my job hired me back after my Mexico excursion?
Yes.
Yes, I started back working this week.
Oh, how'd that go?
Went horrible.
Usually returning to work does.
Yeah, I've been in pain for the last 2 days.
Oh my God.
Holy shit! But
She's
why?
here
Why she got? Why
and
she,
on the screen?
and in person? This is different, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time in 6 months.
First of all,
Uh,
I was here like 2 shows ago.
Don't. She better not see your shadow, and then we'll have six more weeks of winter.
I got a ring light for y'all and everything. Look at me, I'm professional.
Look at you. Look at you. Welcome, Miss Candace August.
Hello.
It's
Hello.
just Candace. Candace, this is Miss Apple Brown Betty. She's our
Miss
guest.
Apple Brown Betty.
Good evening, Miss Candace.
Oh man, I need to be good today, Joey. This is. I don't know if I could be the guy I normally am with Candace, because normally Candace is the lightning rod for a lot of my attention during episodes of the podcast.
But hold on, let me just say, you're always obnoxious. It's not okay ever. So just don't.
Okay, it's my show. I can do what I want to do. It's my shtick.
That's literally what he gets paid to do.
Thank you.
We pay him a very strong $0 cash amount to be that character.
To be that guy. DJ Mark is a strong character on this show. But this week, man, yes, like I said, Joey, I get
By strong, you mean annoying. You're an annoying character on the show.
But yes, I am. Hey, but it's mine. I am the host of the show, so I can be that guy. It's like Steve Harvey when he goes, "Your mama, what?" Steve Harvey can do that because he's the host. But yeah, man, long week, Joe. Back to work. Finally found out all those kids that keep coming up. None of them are mine, so I can go back to work, get my whole paycheck.
You back? You out of recovery from your penis enlargement surgery? You back in the office?
It was a detanglement. It wasn't an enlargement. It was entanglement. Because again, I can get these
is that when you end an affair abruptly before it starts?
She couldn't handle the entanglement, so I had to get a detanglement to make sure she could walk free.
Did Jada come after you and you had to say no? Is that what happened?
No, I would not go down that road with Jada. Will slaps. I can't do that.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He only slaps if you put her name in your mouth, not
not her.
anything else. August done. Who knows what he put in his mouth?
Hey, oh my goodness, that's not where we were going with that.
I didn't. Sorry. That's just the way it happens.
Candace wants to know if my stitches are removed, so I can make my way down to where she is.
Oh my God. See what I'm saying? Obnoxious. We have a guest today. Please be on your best behavior before we get Me Too. Get it together.
That was a worry.
No, I'm not that girl. I'm not.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about that. As long as I don't get Me Too, it's all good.
Thank you. That's the beauty of the Comedy Podcast. Be yourself. You ain't got to worry about nobody coming after you on this episode. Maybe some other ones. Some other ones may rise a little bit. But Joey, what did you get into this week? I had to slow my mouth down. It was going too fast.
It went too fast for me. I honestly don't remember what happened this week. It went by too quick. I don't even actually remember what I did this whole weekend.
Really?
Where the fuck was? Oh, I forgot. My brother came down. That's why. It was in a parallel universe known as Family Time. And so we did like a 3-day mamathon, which which is a lot. It was a lot. But
you know who your brother looks like? Now I saw Joey's brother at the comedy shows near me comedy show on Thursday night at McGinty's Public House,
which went really well.
Yes,
and we had an awesome show with some fantastic comics.
It was a good show. Christian McCarthy, former guest on the Comedy Podcast.
Yep.
He was there. But yeah,
Martin Phillips was our headliner. He was fantastic, and so was Lil Vita, who opened.
Lil Vita did a good job. But I saw your
a rapper. Lil Vita. Like,
she doesn't
like
have
a
that
rapper
vibe.
that just got signed to Young Money.
She
is that a comic?
She looked like one.
She's a
Yeah.
comic.
The funny thing was she looks like and sounds like a comic on the flyer. In person, totally different.
Yeah. Yeah, she was very funny. I did laugh at her jokes.
Okay.
Because again, I have a weird sense of humor. Like deaf jokes and abortion jokes are hilarious to me, especially when women tell them. When women tell them,
you're
it's
degenerate.
funny.
You are a degenerate, evil person with a black soul.
Hey, my soul is powerful, black. That's right, it is. Thank you, Apple Brown Betty, Black Power. But yeah, so I saw your brother. Now,
Yes.
Joey, you got to pull this picture up, okay? So everybody sees. I don't know what you're getting. 1,000 notifications you're getting right now.
Dell decides that we need to optimize the computer. Not right now, Dell. I don't know why I decided now to make that entrance.
So pull up System of a Down.
Why are y'all talking about Joey's brother like he's never been on the podcast? The audience has been introduced to him before.
Yeah,
but they have not seen him.
So not post COVID, because post COVID Thomas hits different.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Thomas looks like. Have all of you heard of the group called System of a Down?
So he looks like Surge.
Yes. Yes.
She knows the band numbers.
I do.
I like her.
Step
Put
further
a
than me.
picture on the screen.
This is our group because everyone knows who that is here. I was not expecting everyone to say yes. Jesus.
I'm the only one who
Got
doesn't
Brown
know.
Betty with the assist. She knew the name and everything.
She knew the name too.
The alley oop.
There you go. So you've never seen him?
I don't care about Armenian singers.
Put somebody on the screen. Put Surge.
That's slightly racist,
Thomas.
Joseph.
One or two.
I'm working on it.
That is slightly racist, Joey. I just want you to know that.
Okay.
Because you're
I wasn't trying to make it that way, but whatever the fuck sound comes out of his face, I'm over it.
It looks like the younger version of him though. So like from the Toxicity era. So find that.
Was there any other era where they were relevant?
They're relevant now, Joey. Shit, you know what, Joey? I'm tired of you and your racism. This is why I don't like Joey hanging out with me. You have a question? Uh-oh.
Someone got sucked up by the Matrix.
And then Candace flipped on her side. I don't know what the hell happened. Oh, now she's gone.
Yeah. Candace got sucked in by the Matrix.
Maybe she was raptured and we're left behind.
why would her screen cut off? I think God just leaves us. Leaves us right where we are. He wouldn't take Candace. Nah, I'm just certain. I'm certain Candace wouldn't go first.
Is this because I wished to be raptured a few weeks ago?
Did you? See,
Yeah, remember when my mom said she wanted to try stand up?
Yeah.
Actively said, I want rapture me now. Like I'd rather be in the belly of a hell beast than be present for this.
No. The rapture is the good one. The rapture is when God brings you home, and if you're left behind, you left in hell.
Oh.
You cast out.
That's what he
whatever.
wants. He wants God to take him away from his mom doing stand.
Either option. Either
Heaven or hell.
heaven or hell. Just get me out of here.
Just not in the audience at Mom's show.
Exactly.
Right.
I want to be at that show. I told Joey when he said it, I want to be front row.
As long as I can be as far away as possible.
And I'm a video it and put it on Facebook. Where all his friends can see it. Because I know she's going to talk about him. I know she's going to give all the embarrassing stories about Joey.
So yeah, it was Mom's weekend,
Yes.
and my brother was.
Speaking of mom.
It was actually kind of nice. So first night we just watched the George Carlin documentary,
Okay.
or at least the first half of it, because I didn't realize it's a 2-part 4-hour session, and there's no way Mom was getting through all of that. Like, she
Hold
can't
on.
sit
There's
in
a
one
Carlin documentary?
Yes, it was made by Judd Apatow.
Okay.
That's why he was on the Colbert Report a few weeks ago.
Colbert's night show.
Where's that? Is it on Netflix?
Your screen froze, Candace. And it just froze with your eyes closed in confusion. And now it froze with you making dimples. I don't know what's going on with your internet this week.
The face you got froze on was just amazing.
It was adorable.
It was adorable.
Yeah.
You need to get your internet together, Candace. I told you, just spring for the senior package.
We have good internet. I think it's this platform, is this app. Because my internet is fine. I literally work from home, so I have to have reliable internet. I never have a problem until I log in here on Tuesday night.
The only persons it's happened to were Candace August and Eddie Lyles. Two people who have talked shit about me on the Dot Comedy podcast. So you know what?
Was on dial-up. Eddie was on dial-up. I don't know what was going on with this shit.
But yeah, so what else did Mom do? What else, Mom, have y'all doing, man?
So we did that, and then we took her to Mom likes like going to concerts and shit with her boys. It's like it's a thing. We like one of her favorite things. So I was like trying to find a concert, but like now she's got the 2 hip surgeries, so like being outside that long is kind of difficult.
Yeah.
So I found there was a show at the Bethesda Jazz Supper Club.
Okay.
And the show was there was a Queen cover band, but they don't really like cover it like they're trying to be Queen. It's just like this.
They like sing Queen songs.
They sing Queen songs with like they like 15 people on stage, including this like fat Puerto Rican guy who like sounds more like Meatloaf than he does like Freddie Mercury. But it made a good show out of it. It was kind of crazy. The guitarist was fucking the shit though. This guy was like he was a backup vocalist who was filling in on guitar and still fucking hit all the guitar solos right. So he alone like made the night for Mom. So we're like, good. Okay, she liked it.
Okay. As long as Mom had fun.
Yeah. And then we went and saw Top Gun on Sunday.
Okay. I haven't seen Top Gun yet. I think I'm gonna go out and see it.
It's good.
I've heard it's a lot less homoerotic this time. So I may have fun.
It wasn't homoerotic the first time. And is the guy from Whiplash in it? That's what I heard.
Yes. Miles Teller's in it. And he does look a lot like Goose. It's weird the way they made him look like his fake father.
Oh, he's supposed to be Goose's son.
He's supposed to be Goose's son.
Well, Goose today looks like Turkey. Because
Val Kilmer's in it.
Is he?
He struggles to talk for like 5 minutes. It was like really depressing because then they killed him off, and you're like, he's gonna probably die before they make the next sequel. That's probably
Twitter said that Jennifer Connelly looks amazing in the movie. Twitter said that. I haven't seen it yet.
She's not like, I didn't understand. They just made a character for her and made her in the movie.
Jennifer Connelly's always looked good though.
They just made a whole single character mom with history with Maverick, and you're like, this whole thing is like
found a single mom.
I just assumed that she was the doctor. Like I assumed she played the Nicole Kidman role.
All right, Nicole Kidman was not in Top Gun.
Kelly McGinnis.
Terry McGillis.
Kelly McGinnis.
Kelly McGinnis.
Why am I thinking of Nicole
Apple
Kidman?
Brown
Who is the doctor? Somebody like he made out with his doctor, right? That was
Yeah.
Top Gun.
That's who that was. It's a no-name actress who's done nothing else
Oh, okay. I don't know why in my mind
and has
Maybe
not
I made
aged
Nicole
well. That's
Kidman.
why they did get her back.
She must have joined the Scientology people. She kissed Tom Cruise and she joined Scientology. But so it was a good movie.
But it's good. Go see it. You don't even need to have seen Top Gun to enjoy it.
Okay. All right, because I didn't finish watching Top Gun. That beach scene made me turn it off. I just couldn't. I don't like. See,
You don't like when men play volleyball bothers you?
yeah, men playing volleyball in the sun, glistening. It makes me. It brings up bad ideas.
Just,
not listening.
Margaret, do you struggle with hoochie daddy shorts? Is this a problem for you?
No, I struggle putting them on.
Marcus, you have to be more confident in your own sexual identity. So
Might I say,
you need to be able to go to volleyball games. All right, 'cause I don't understand. It should be okay.
What was that, Apple Brown Betty?
I just want to offer that I think you're like a prime, candidate for hoochie daddy shorts. Like in my mind, like I know it's a thing right now, like all over the internet. But like I personally think you should at least explore the possibility.
Ooh, Marcus?
There you go.
Yeah, because see, here's the thing. Like it's all about I understand like the she was like, where you going with this? I understand the aversion. You know what I mean? But if you think about it, like. And guys who are all up in arms about men wearing shorter shorts, I don't get it because these are the same men who talk about how the NBA is soft. But if you look at like the NBA that they admire, like when everybody was getting elbowed in their shit, they had on booty shorts.
Oh, yeah.
So if we can meet in the middle and bring the shorts down like mid-thigh. I personally love seeing a man's legs. I do like, especially if they got thick legs. So, get a hoochie daddy shorts a shot in private. If you're not comfortable.
Please do not encourage Marcus to be out here half naked. Nobody wants to see that.
I'm gonna get me a pair of hoochie daddy shorts. That way, everybody can see my detanglement, and then everyone will be happy. It'll be a hot man season.
I can't.
I would like to rescind everything I just said.
It's hot man summer.
She just reclaimed her time.
Professionally too. That made me feel even worse. Oh man! But anything happened to you this week, Candace? Or in the last 3 weeks since we ain't seen you?
Nothing. But you know what is bothering me right here at the moment is this little piece of patch of gray hair right here in the front of my face. I'm out here looking like Morgan Freeman. Why is it right there?
You can get a Sharpie and touch that up.
It's glistening in the ring light, and it's really.
Why do you sound like the modem they use in Stranger Things?
Candace had to die. Log out and log back in.
Okay, bye.
You sound like the Matrix is trying to take you.
Oh,
Apple Brown Betty, what about you? Anything from the week that was?
Well, my week was super exciting. I kicked it off with an asthma attack. That was awesome.
Oh, no.
I got out of the hospital and went straight to the open mic. I would not recommend that. But besides
that's
that,
dedication right there.
is it might be like morbid stupidity, but your call. But I don't have a very exciting life, and also my brain kind of resets every morning around 4 a.m. So I'd be hard pressed to remember yesterday. You know what I mean?
I understand.
But the asthma attack kind of took center stage. It's a headliner. Yeah.
Left an imprint.
Yeah, that would. I have a couple cousins and uncles that have asthma, and they tell me it's bad, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what to do with that.
Well, the thing is, I waited till I was 40 to develop it. Like I never had asthma like as a child. You know what I mean? And all
so
that
we
stuff.
traded.
Yeah,
I had it when I was 5, and I grew out of it.
Grew out of it.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You can grow out all kinds of stuff, but so I grew into it apparently.
It was waiting for her.
Yes.
I mean, ailments wait for you to get old. Like, I'm learning that like all the things that are falling apart on me were supposed to fall apart on me at 35, and they waited 2 years. And now I'm just dying, and everyone's just like, "Hey man, you should run more." How? God damn it, these knees are fucked up. My knees and ankles are fucked up, and you want me to run? What shit is that? But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get out there.
Come on, bend.
Yeah. I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna work it out though, Joey.
Okay.
I'm gonna work out, and I'll be at CPMMA in a short couple months. I think this August will be when I make my debut at CPMMA.
It's Friends and Family Month. Come now.
What's CPMMA?
College Park Mixed Martial Arts.
Yeah.
Oh, so so no hoochie daddy shorts. You're gonna have like a hoochie daddy gi.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. I have my hoochie daddy gi is hanging in my doorway. It wasn't, and then I gained 20 pounds, and now it's a hoochie daddy gi.
Now it's just tight.
Now it's absurdly tight.
Well, good luck with that.
Combination of dryer plus fat has now made it a hoochie daddy gi.
That's a killer combo. Personally, I know I've gained about 10, 12 pounds in the past few months. So I agree. I empathize with you there.
Okay. Well, hey. Joey doesn't look good with it though. I mean, it's different when you look good with it. I'm sorry.
You can see me from like armpit up. If I was to if I was to stand up right now, I might be Joey. So I'm
Here's the thing. I look pretty much the same from like 225 to 240. It's like there's like a 10-pound range where like you just don't see a difference.
Mm-hmm. I get that.
I don't understand.
I'm down 30 pounds.
Congratulations.
Last month.
Hold on, wait. Did you do it on purpose? Is it crack cocaine? Do people still do that?
I did not do it on purpose.
Okay.
He went to the witch doctor and they bled him.
You're welcome.
Wait, what did I miss? Marcus is on crack?
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
He developed a habit, and to break him of it, we took him to a voodoo doctor who then used leeches to take the darkness out of his soul.
Yes, because I told her I'm down 30 pounds in the last month, and I'm losing weight slowly, gaining weight rapidly. It comes and it goes. I some days I'm down. Some days I sit on my scale and I go, okay, how much am I going to weigh today? And I look down and it goes, all right, you're doing good. And then the next day I'll get on that scale and I go, hey man, what the fuck happened yesterday? That was not a good.
You've really been doing an excellent job keeping up with your activity and getting movement every day. So that's awesome.
Oh yeah, I went to the pool. Hey Candace, thank you for the watch. I never thanked you on air for the watch.
We also
You're welcome.
The step challenge, so it just sounds like she's tracking you.
You're also doing very well in your activities. It's like, huh?
No, so just so that, because that did sound creepy. That did sound creepy. So just so that everybody knows, we have like a fitness chat. So everybody posts their steps every day. And Joey and I are falling ridiculously behind. Marcus is like killing us. Like every day he beats us by like 4,000 steps.
I told you my steps weren't going to be for shit. I got the exercises up. My heat minutes or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, you're winning in zone minutes.
Yes.
But Marcus is winning in steps.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, I took it to the when I went to the pool, I wore it. And I did.
Oh, it's waterproof? I didn't even know that.
I know it's all scratched up because you had it on dry land. But it was. I took it in the pool and I exercised in the pool, and then I got out of the pool and it was freezing cold. So then my body started cramping up. And this is the worst feeling in the world when you're trying to walk from the pool back to your house.
Does it have a hot tub? Because you could go sit in that for a couple minutes to like raise your body temperature.
No, there's no hot tub. I wish there was.
There's
I didn't.
Also this thing
I
called
didn't pay
a
for that
towel.
amenity. I did have a towel. God damn it! The towel.
Is this pool like at your house? Like you live like in a complex kind of thing? Okay.
It's my neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know if it was like a community pool or like a gym pool. Because
Right.
like, they get
That's what I
kind of
was
sketchy.
thinking at the gym
It's
because
kiddie
they have
pool.
a hot
I can
tub.
see
at
it from
the
here.
gym.
It's in the other room,
Sitting in my living room. It's a kiddie pool.
full of rubber duckies.
Yeah, but like I don't like, and don't get me wrong, I'm a fond of a hot tub too. You know, I'm old, but it's like the whole idea of like making an asshole stew with strangers that don't sit well with me.
That's
you know,
true.
especially when you have a vagina, and then like at the
Right.
gym where's all that bacteria like backstroking and you know all that. So it's a
Yeah.
I use
Going
a-
right up in your baby maker. All of that.
all up in there.
it's kind of the same way I feel about public restrooms. Like I'm going to make a toilet paper protector at any public.
Oh, I
restroom.
do too. I make it at work.
But if I go to a friend's house, I usually feel safe. Same thing with hot tubs. If I go to a public hot tub, probably not.
What?
So you put toilet paper around the rim of the hot tub?
No.
I'm just fucking with you.
I trust it the same as I trust a public toilet. Not at all.
So you sit on a public toilet, like you poop in like a Wendy's?
Yeah, but I will manufacture a shield out of 3 sheets of
every one of those is one ply, so you got to get 15 sheets.
Oh, I don't. When I go in, the first thing I do is just make another seat. I have to make a lathe and then loom together several sheets of 1 ply and then make 2 pads to sit on.
Yeah,
I just feel like it's a lot of other elements there, what about the splash factor? You know what I'm saying? Like you can protect yourself from above, but it's still a lot of foreign fecal from below. Do you poop real careful? Can you control it? Is there sphincter control?
I used to be a personal trainer, and control is very important in all muscular activities.
Duly noted.
Joey controls his butthole. That's
as we all should.
Yes, everyone should have control of their butthole.
Do you put paper down even when it has they have the seat covers that are made? I put that down and put paper on top of it.
I double down on the seat covers, but the thing is you got to be careful with the seat covers because if the dangly part goes down first and then the automatic thing goes off, it'll suck that shit right down as you're sitting.
But do you know that's because most of us put those on backwards?
Yes.
I honestly don't know which way to put them on. I'm gonna make sure there's a hole. That's all.
The dangly thing is supposed to go toward the back, actually.
No, that goes in the front.
It actually goes in the front. I think we typically put it with it in the back. I don't put it anywhere because I don't be sitting on them. I just piss all over everything. That's y'all problem.
I squat.
These knees good.
That's what I'm saying. I hover. I cover it just in case I lose my footing, but I hover.
That's just an insurance layer, right?
Exactly. But the dangly part goes in the front. Now, you could just tear that part off. It doesn't have to stay.
Right. And that eliminates the suction factor.
Exactly. So
hopefully if your ass is keeping it in place.
Yeah, you can just remove that. It's not necessary.
I already had to crochet something out of toilet paper to sit on. I'm not fucking ripping things off of things.
I will continue to use public bathrooms in my old age.
This was an unexpected deep dive.
Yeah, it is. It's
into a toilet.
Yeah, because again, it's necessary. They're there for a reason. I only use true public bathrooms. I only pee in those. So those are just and I pee like a 5-year-old everywhere I can.
Or a 40-year-old.
Yeah, basically, very quickly and everywhere I can. That's how you learn. Oh man!
So you're the reason there's a piddle pad underneath the urinal.
Yeah. Oh man, we can take a break though, Joe.
Okay.
And we're gonna have a quick conversation. Not a quick conversation. We're gonna have a meaningful, thought-provoking conversation with Miss Apple Brown Betty.
Yay, me!
Because I want to get to know her, and you want to get to know her, don't you, Joey?
Yes, I do.
And Candace showed up, so I guess you want to know her too.
I usually show up, y'all. Gotta act like I don't show up.
Yeah, but you usually don't when we have.
We'll talk about that too.
Oh,
we ain't gonna give away the whole ghost, Joey.
All right,
we can't give the whole show away. Candace will rejoin us. Take a break.
Take a break.
All right, we'll take a break. Maybe this thing will play. There it is. But we'll be back in a minute with more fun and more thrills on That Comedy Podcast. I got a stack for security. And I got 5 for the bitch that I'm a buck rush wearing my jewelry. And I got a couple $100 for the nigga that park my whip. And I got a lot more in my pocket. Somebody better stop it. That ain't shit. That's just it. And we're back on the That Comedy Podcast. If you're looking for a good tip, this segment of That Comedy Podcast is brought to you by Comedy Shows Near Me. That's right, each and every Thursday at McGinty's Public House, Comedy Shows Near Me puts on one of the funniest and quite possibly the only good show on a Thursday. Comedy shows near me. DJ Marcus spins the hits. Joey LaFaro is at the door. Jesse Rivas shows up. Glenn Frankenstein. What is Glenn's last name? Lawrence.
Yeah.
Glenn Lawrence tells jokes ish. And Angel's there. Angel's there. So if you want to see some funny shit,
Angel makes some open mics happen.
oh yeah, he does make open mics.
He makes people try comedy.
There you go. So if you want to
You
try
don't think
comedy,
you want to, and then he makes you want to.
there you go. Comedy
very
shows near me is putting people on.
Very weird superpower.
We're gonna keep it moving with them, man. And we're back into that comedy podcast. DJ Marcus, Joey LaFaro, Candace August, and our special guest this week, Ms. Apple Brown Betty. Oh man, this is my new favorite song, dude.
Is it?
Yeah. It express like I play it when I have money because it makes me feel like a boss. Like I'm like when I'm walking past people and like when I hand like the homeless people like $2-3.
Yeah.
I just go, that's just tips. That's just tips. And I feel it makes me feel better about myself. I don't know how good they feel because it's $2-3, but hey, you never know. Candace come back? There she is.
She got me working double time on the ad backs.
Hey, at least you're not wearing a swoop neck this week.
Okay, first of all, none of that is true. Y'all have to let that go. None of that is true.
She only wears deep cut V-necks when we have certain guests on the show.
First of all, I wear deep cut V-necks most of the time.
I was gonna say, y'all gonna get off sis right now because I breastfed 3 kids. Okay, so if I said when you was making an adjustment, I won't gonna say now, I won't gonna bring it up, but since they did, let that sister wear her V-necks while she got something to sit up in a V-neck.
That's what
All
I'm
right?
saying. I have a nice rack. I wear V-necks all the time. Let me live.
As well you should. I got to roll these up, sit them in your mouth, so you do your thing.
Ain't nobody
I'm
complaining.
on
Oh, that's not a complaint.
okay.
There you go, bow, left, right, make them bow.
Yeah, there they go. They're the twins. I don't know what to do with that.
Let them log you in next time. Let them log you back in next time.
Our only gripe is that she only whips them out when there's someone she actually wants to talk to.
That's a lady's prerogative. Sometimes you can't just be in because if she did whip them out all the time around somebody she wasn't interested in, or what would that make her? Somebody has something to say about that. You know what I'm saying? So
first of all, don't buy into this narrative. I do not do that. First of all, I'm not interested in any of these guests, and I have next on most of the time, 8 times out of 10. So it's just coincidental.
That's all.
That's her Tuesday uniform. Tuesday is titty day. Put them out there.
It is. Happy Titty Tuesday. Let her observe her holiday.
There we go. Happy Titty Tuesday, ladies. But yes, we're going to sit down, Joey, and we're going to talk to our guest this week.
Again, do I need to get up first? Do I?
No.
Okay.
Lord Jesus, I hate when you do
Do I need to scoot out and back in?
Scoot out and back in, yes.
Okay.
All right. But Miss Apple Brown Betty, welcome once again to the That Comedy Podcast.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Oh, yes. It's definitely a pleasure to have you. So you're new to the That Comedy Podcast. Have you ever heard of That Comedy before getting approached by Joey LaFaro?
Actually, the first time I met Joey was at Bus Boys, and he mentioned it then. He had one of those snazzy cards that you with the QR code and all his shit popped up. And he was like, yeah, I got a podcast and a big dick. And so I was
Sounds like Joey.
But that's the first time I heard of it. And I was like, oh, cool. I actually had a podcast myself. I haven't done it probably since 2020. It was called The Drunk Auntie Show. So I was like, I always think that's cool when people have podcasts. They're a lot of work. So hats off to y'all.
Well, thank
that sounds like a show I could have been on. The Drunk Auntie Show.
might need to bring it back,
Yeah, Candace had a podcast.
I'd watch that show.
I'd watch it faithfully every week. Candace had what was it? Burnt toast and coffee time with every Saturday, every Friday.
I can't even remember what it was. Cocktails and comedy, some shit. I don't even remember what the name of it was.
Oh man, but yes. So how long you been in the comedy game?
Oh, that depends on who you ask. But so I actually started doing stand-up. I've always been in entertainment in some form of another. But my first time at an open mic was probably July 2020, something like that. So it has I'm coming up on 2 years.
Okay. So what got you in the stand-up? I mean, you say you're in entertainment, but what got you going with the stand-up side?
Somebody paid me. So my buddy who was on the same radio station with me with the podcast, he does stand-up, and he kept saying, you know, you're so funny, you gotta try it, you know, you're gonna be great. And I was like, oh, you know, I don't know. That's a different muscle. I always respected stand-up comedy. Like, I'm an 80s baby. So, you know, comedy to me is Billy Crystal, Whoopi Goldberg, you know, that whole era.
Yeah.
But I always considered myself to be cookout funny. I didn't want to really like take it to the stage. But then one day he called me, was like, hey, I got $50 for 10 minutes. I was like, bet. And I've been doing it ever since.
Awesome. That's
Wait, you got paid on your first time?
I did. And I realized that's not conventionally how it goes.
That's not typically the story.
It's not. It typically is not. And they kind of slipped. I usually don't tell people that because I don't want them to look at me. I'd rather people see me first and see me work. You know what I mean? Because I want my respect. I do work hard at this, and I am funny, if I may say that myself. But I don't ever want to come across like it's entitled or you know what I mean. But that's the truth. That's how I got into it.
I literally got asked to do a bringer show in New York today. I've been doing this for 6 years.
You don't have a vagina. See, somebody explained to me.
That is an obstacle.
And a brother explained it to me. You know, a male comic. You know, he was saying, you know, when you're a woman and you're actually funny, and I hate when people say actually funny. Like, what the fuck you thought? Like, as in, like, opposed to nominally funny. But when you're funny, it's so many funny men. You know what I mean? So like when people meet a woman that's funny, it's like, oh yeah, I gotta have you on this show, you know. So that does work. It is an advantage. And I only found that out a few months ago because usually I'm used to hearing, oh, women aren't funny. Women aren't funny. So
it's interesting that you say that because when I started comedy, it's been, I don't know, 7 or 8 years at this point. Someone, you know, brought that concept up about women aren't funny, and it was something I had never heard before. And it just never occurred to me that people think that.
Yeah, people say it to me as a compliment, and I'm like, thanks.
I know now that it's widely believed that women aren't funny, but it was something that was not a concept that I knew about until I started comedy, that people believe that. And it struck me as so, like, if you say to me women can't be firefighters, then okay, that makes sense, right? Because you have to carry somebody out of a burning house. But you know, or something, or any kind of physical limitations. But why would a woman not be able to be funny?
I think
it doesn't take anything but a brain to be. You know what I mean? I don't understand how that concept even came, because we don't lack anything that it takes to be comical.
You know, I think it's very much in that same vein as your firefighter analogy, because women typically don't have time and energy to be funny. We too busy being fucking pack mules. You know what I mean? So I think that's a big part of it. It's just like if you meet a guy who's in a relationship, like men who are in relationships love me. Like, oh, you're such a breath of fresh air, and they want to be my friend. I don't want to be your friend. Go home and talk to your wife. You know what I'm saying? And because maybe she's boring because you don't help her. Maybe you don't fuck good. Maybe you're an asshole. Maybe you know.
Yeah.
So
maybe she just has too much to fucking do.
Exactly. I seem cool because we don't have any responsibilities together. My cool is a farce. But trust me, it's a nigga in North Carolina. I'm on his nerves. You understand?
Right.
So
amen. Yeah.
We just don't have that relationship, that element, you know? So women don't have time and energy to be funny.
Well, that's an excellent point. And the other thing I think is that comedy is so much about relatability, and comedy is so subjective. So I don't think it's that obviously it's not that women are not funny, right? Obviously that's not it. But I think that men can't dial into the things that we're talking about. Stand-up comedy is about reciting your experience in a comical way. And so some of the things that we go through is just not relatable to them. So it's like they can't find it funny because they can't connect to it.
Right.
I think some of it's just that the path for women to get to where they are funny as comics is much more difficult because of a couple factors. One, there's less of them doing it, right? Like stand-up's been a boys' club forever.
Yeah.
And so,
but what isn't? Everything's a boys' club.
That's partially true,
that's
but
not true. Both clubs are women's clubs. To your point about the relatability factor, you know, you got to start in an open mic room and make people laugh, and you know, to get for a person who's booking the show to take notice. It's either they find you funny,
which means you're talking about stuff that person who books from that room can relate to, or people in that room can relate to, or like that guy wants to fuck you. Like, so there's
that, and that's key, right? Because it's how men see women.
Yeah.
You want to see them as some sort of objectified sex symbol. You don't want to see them as an equal. You don't want to see them as someone who's as smart as you and as witty as you and can crack these, smart cracks. It's like, that's not how you see this person. So it's hard to like connect them with humor. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
But also going back to what you were saying before, like what ends up happening sometimes is because a guy will book somebody that they want to write with, or whatever.
Right.
So what happens is that girl that's not funny yet gets booked for that reason, and then people see that person in a show and go,
and they think women aren't funny. That makes a lot of sense.
So that's another chunk of it too, is people putting up, and now there's kind of this pressure to, well, you got to book women, otherwise you're gonna get Me Too'd or something. And it's like, well, I want to book quality women, but they're harder to get a hold of. And honestly, like, not that there's not enough of them, but like they're booked on other shows. There's a lot of shows, right. So you're not.
They're in shorter supply than the abundance of male comics.
Yes, right. And so that's where it becomes a challenge. So even as someone who like actively tries to correct for that and give up, like as soon as I find them, like get on my stage. But it's like, but I do understand like there is a deficiency in the market, and we're oversaturated for men for sure.
Well, the Earth's oversaturated for men. So
no, it's actually more women on the planet than men. It's just that there's less women doing comedy, and even less of them doing it well because of some of these factors.
Okay.
Right. Well, I mean, so that's not just about women, though. That's in general. So if you take 50 people doing stand-up, like maybe 10 of them are funny, right? A lot of people just think that they're funny and they want to get on stage because they're self-important. And so if you have 50 men and only 10 of them are funny, take that sample set for women, there's maybe 10 women for every 50 men in stand-up. And if only 10% of them are funny, that's one person.
Still 10 to 1, so,
yeah. So it's just like, I think that there's a smaller group of people who are really talented and really funny versus how many people are actually doing stand-up. And then you take that and compare it to how few women are in there, and it's the same averages. It just makes it way, way less. Does that make sense?
And then like a lot of other things, white women fuck it up because I don't think that most of them are funny.
You know what? Let's put a pin in that.
There are plenty funny white women. Relax.
There are, but I think that
he loves black women.
Yeah, we need to get back to the.
Joey loves black women unequivocally. So when there's a chance to put white women down, Joey takes.
Oh my goodness.
Joey throws shots at white women every single show. Can
I tell you how when he asked me to do this podcast, I asked him, was it, video or just audio, so do I need to comb my hair? And he said, yeah, it's video. And I said, oh, well, the thing I like about working with white people is they don't know when my hair is fucked up. He was like, oh, well, I'll know because.
He'll know. He will be aware. He will.
Yeah. This ain't his first Korean beauty supply rodeo.
Yeah.
No.
I know. I just don't know better than to say anything about it.
Amen.
Right.
All right. So what other aspirations do you have in the entertainment game? Are you looking to do more things? You're looking to get into
I do a lot already. I'm kind of like, I do different things. So like comedy is what's presenting the most opportunities right now, and it's where my focus is.
Okay.
But I also do music. I'm kind of getting back into that. I produce and style photo shoots. I'm really big into photography, so I do that. And but as far as like the avenues that comedy can open for me, I've always been a writer. I'm actually submitting my first like screenplay to a contest soon. So I just like to do more like behind the scenes stuff, because like comedy is a grind forever unless you like in the top 1%. So like even if I was to blow up tomorrow, and I don't want to sound ungrateful or what have you, but the idea of being in 5 different cities a week is still isn't very appealing to me. I've always been a homebody. So if I could parlay this into you know, being in one place and writing and doing things on the internet, that would be great.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's
more behind the
interesting
scenes
because
stuff.
that's the most appealing thing to me. I love just being all over and seeing new cities, and I have actually a goal to visit every state in the United States, and I have maybe 10 or 11 left that I haven't visited. But
That is dope.
Yeah, I've done like 40 or 41, I can't remember, but I do like that idea of, you know, like 5 different cities a week, whatever. But I can imagine that years and years of it would get tiring, you know.
Right.
So people who've had a successful career that have done that for 30 years or 20 years on the road, I can tell, you know, I could see where that would be exhausting. But I think it's exciting at first, at least. I don't know.
But then like personality wise, like I've just always been a homebody. Like, you know, if you see me perform and like my style, even just like talking to me, you know, people assume I'm a lot of fun. I promise I'm not. Like if I was to like do that travel thing, like you say, all 50 states, I would want to like find a dope place to take a nap in all 50 states. Like, you know, I want to nap at the Grand Canyon. I want to nap at Niagara Falls. I want, you know, that's what, you know.
That sounds
You
like
know, like when you go online and you see people's like vacation pics and they super sexy. Like I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, that looks nice, but it doesn't stir me to want to do that. But when I see somebody's house laid the fuck out, I'm like, this bitch got to outdoor whole kitchen, not just the grill. That's what moves me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
I'm about that.
lots of HGTV.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! I'm sitting on the floor. I put in myself.
There you go. Oh man. So where can people find you at?
Okay, so my Instagram is Apple Brown Betty. My Facebook is just Brown Betty. I had to do some maneuvering to get around Zuckerberg. To my old account kept getting shut down because he a hoe. But
Oh,
I
Were
am
you
on
posting
Twitter.
porn on Facebook? Were you posting porn?
No, no, but I stayed in Facebook jail. Like and I think that once you go there a couple times, like it's like being the bad kid in class. No matter what you do
They're
after
like
that, they
watching you.
yeah,
I'm on
you
double
know,
secret probation. I understand.
it was crazy. So yeah, I actually shut down my old page around the end of last year and started this one and intentionally made it. It's probably 90% comedians, which kind of keeps me in grind mode. You know, everybody around you working, everybody around you, you know, dropping jewels. So I like it because the people on my old page, I probably had 5,000 friends, but them bitches won't come into no shows. So, you know.
there you go. Always, it is always. Oh, you're posting stuff. Okay, I'm looking at chats and shit. I'm sorry. That should not be my job. I'm not supposed to look at stuff, Joey.
Oh wait, it's Apple.Brown. I think I just
It
followed
is.
the wrong person. Hold on.
It's okay. Fuck her. It's Apple.Brown.Betty. I'm sitting at a piano, so you see my back. It's like an extra large. And that's how
And you
know
have
it's me.
like a beaded.
Yeah, that was my 20s look. I do the vintage thing.
I got the right person here then.
Okay.
Perfect.
I've seen
Thank
some
you.
photos. Are you doing modeling or is this a
She
photography?
said she's into photography. You don't listen. She said that already.
I'm trying to look up the Instagram account so I can make sure it was right. Which you probably should have done before the show. I'm sorry. I'm not.
Oh, it's all good. We got time.
This is the Dot Comedy
this is right.
Podcast. We ain't got nothing but time.
Now everybody's trying to follow her.
You just got You got 4 new followers because DJ Marks is going to follow you.
Thank you all. I appreciate it.
So is
What is this place where you're on stage where it says Baltimore behind you?
That's the Baltimore Comedy Factory. I had the pleasure of opening for Red Grant a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that.
They must have remodeled because I did
They
the Baltimore
did.
Comedy Factory and
They
it did not look
did.
anything like this.
They did that whole cityscape with the Baltimore in the back is new. That was my first time performing there, but I'd been there before and I ain't see that shit either. So
Yeah, that shit is nice now.
it was really nice.
It just was gray curtains behind me when I was there. There was none of this.
Yeah, but yeah, it's cool. It's a nice room. I had a great time.
Now, Betty, you're from Richmond originally, correct? Or am I misreading that?
No, I'm from Richmond.
Okay.
I've been here since I was probably 4 or 5 years old.
So she from here.
I'm from yeah.
If she was that young, she's from here. She don't look at Britain and go, I remember home. Nope.
No, but I was born in New York, but there's nothing New York about me. Like I don't remember anything about New York. My mom's from Virginia, my dad's from North Carolina, and they actually knew each other as kids. And both of them moved to New York and ran into each other on the street. And I know my mama wished she kept on walking, but she didn't. and they had 4 kids, and I was number 2. So they moved us back to Virginia to raise us. So I've been in Richmond, all my life, pretty much.
Cool. Have you done Richmond Funny Bone?
I have not done the Funny Bone. When I started, they weren't open. They've reopened since then, and I understand like they got new management and stuff, and I don't really know anybody there. I went on their website, I sent the email, I ain't heard nothing, and I don't do no dick riding, so I wait for them to call me.
Gotcha.
Well, they better get their stuff right soon because it's very clear to us that you're awesome and clearly on the rise.
Thank you.
And you couldn't have come more highly recommended from our friend Anthony Oakes.
Oh, I love Anthony. He's doing my Pride show on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone loves him. He's so lovable. I cannot think of one person that has a problem with him. He's such a great person. You can feel like the warm energy.
Just radiant, right?
Yes. Yes.
Well,
and hilarious, even in general conversation.
So funny.
Yeah.
When I think of and this has nothing to do with Pride Month, the 2 most professional and hardest working comics I know that I can think off the top of my head are Anthony Oakes and D-Lo.
Okay.
Now I haven't seen D-Lo yet. I want to. I was hoping to do a Black Pride event and invite her.
What?
You didn't have to emphasize that. You could have just said 2 of the greatest comedians.
I don't want people to think I'm doing some Pride Month thing. No,
you don't have to. Adding that on there makes me think you're talking about Pride Month.
I'm saying it's not about that. I'm saying if you don't recognize that these 2 are the best in the game at being professional and working hard, those 2 work more than anybody I've seen, and they handle every single show with a professionalism that I don't normally.
They do, and both so kind, right? So some people who are killers and they're fucking dicks, like assholes. You never want to work with them. But D-Lo and Anthony, both so kind and so hilarious.
Yes.
Yep.
I agree wholeheartedly. We've had both of them on the Comedy Podcast, and they were definitely great guests. I haven't met them in person. I knew Anthony when I was your roadie for a while. Yeah. I met Anthony a couple times, but yeah, it's great people.
Well,
you met D-Lo in person too, wasn't she on that show that we did at that apartment complex? It was Jesse's show. Didn't you DJ that?
The one in Columbia?
D-Lo's been on the podcast.
No, but he said he never met her in person, like in
that one in Columbia.
Yeah, she was at the one in Columbia.
Okay, so I did meet her. See, D-Lo seems taller in pictures and everything.
She's about 5'6", I think. She was
shorter when at the show. So when I saw pictures of her, I was like, "Oh, I've never met that person in my life." So
we were literally on a show together. So you met her.
Anyway, to bring it back full circle, the reason I met Apple Brown Betty was because Anthony came on our podcast earlier, right the week before Bus Boys and Poets, and said, Apple Brown Betty's headlining, you better get your ass down to Bus Boys.
Oh, did he?
Yes. So I did.
So you did that.
That wasn't supposed to be that long a story.
We did go all the way around the world to get here.
Took the scenic route.
But it's okay. Hey, guess what, Joey? We're at the fun part of the show.
Are we?
It's sometimes fun, sometimes not. We're gonna get into some of these topics. Joey, what's going on in the world?
So apparently Monique and DL were not done with each other yet.
Oh God, has there been more?
There is more. We got a verdict in the Amber Heard Johnny Depp situation, and the jurors needed to vent. Kyle Rittenhouse thinks he's going to college, but colleges don't think he's going. And some other crazy stuff.
Well, the world keeps spinning, Joey, and we're going to keep on ticking right along with it. But we'll be back with more fun and more thrills on the Not Comedy Podcast.
Right to my side, I know she pulled up with her friends. Then we skirt off in the bed. Took her back to my crib, and I regret it. She tryna feel like she asleep, so she tried to stay the whole week. I'm like, oh, nah, she gotta go. Write me a name, I swear I don't even fucking know. They wanna know what the girl.
And we're back on the Dot Comedy Podcast. This segment of Dot Comedy Podcast is brought to you by Tappy Card. That's right, get yourself a Tappy Card. You know what you can do, Joey? You can move yourself into the future with a Tappy Card.
Really?
Tappy Card allows you to stop having to hand out business cards to people. giving them paper they don't want to put in a wallet they don't need, giving them information. You know what the tapping card does, Joe? You just tap it on your phone.
I know.
And it sends your information right to people.
Apple Brown Betty knows.
Apple Brown
She's
Betty
seen
knows.
my tapping card.
Okay, that sounds.
I didn't even.
Sounds a little different. You whipped your tapping card out and gave it to her. I don't
It wasn't as big as I expected.
It was a little tapping card.
Pause.
I'm just fucking with y'all.
See, you don't need a detanglement.
That's what she said.
But
We're back at the Dot Comedy Podcast. DJ Marcus, Joey LaFaro, Candace.
Why don't you have a rim shot sounder?
Because it's on the other stuff.
It's a comedy podcast. It should be
Right, exactly. Come on now. Get your shit together. That should be right next to the bam 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 button. Like it should be right there.
I'm not a good DJ.
You ain't shit right now.
Look at me something I'm not. Oh man. But what the fuck is happening? There it is. Oh man, but Joey, this week, man.
Yes.
This week's been crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Now we have two female comedians on the Dot Comedy Podcast. Joey, you're a male comedian.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a nigga with a point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
And watching this DL Hughley and Monique situation, it makes me angry.
So hold on. Can I just ask a quick question? When you say it's still continuing, was there something else after she did the live with her and her husband?
Yes, there's been multiple things after that.
Okay,
DL
keep going.
daughter decided to speak up
because she went back on live, Monique and Daddy, as she likes to lovingly call her husband. Her and Daddy went back on live, and they decided to bring up DL Hughley's daughter's sexual assault from when she was 13, and say that he's a bitch nigga for not standing up for his daughter when she was sexually assaulted.
Jesus. What? First of all, what does that have to do with anything? And secondly, one of the things that Monique said in that long ass 1 hour live that she did before was, "We don't come for people's families." Why would you bring up something so sensitive and personal to that family like that? That was
trying
foul.
to be all the way wrong.
Yeah, she went on. So here's the thing about Monique. Monique has gone on DL Hughley's wife by saying she's sucking the dick of a coward. And then she went on his dog saying that the dog lived in the house of a coward. I don't know where that went. And then the dog is an emotional support animal. Who DL got after his dad died because he named after his dad, which is, again, Monique, she may not know this shit, but she needs to shut the fuck up about it. It's his life.
You're going in and you include the dog. Like, you're doing too much.
And now
The
she includes his daughter. All about how DL Hughley was the headliner at a show, and she thought that she should have been.
This is what I would like to know. DL has spoken. Monique has spoken several times. When is I want the promoter to say something. I want the promoter to say, once and for all, DL was the headliner, or once and for all, Monique was the headliner. Why is that nigga not speaking?
Because he's Homer Simpson and he's backing into that bush.
I really think that he told them both that they were the headline. He's like, yeah, what up? Like, they both probably have, well, not probably, they both have paperwork saying that they're the headliner. They posted it. So
and he gonna do it again.
Now, the problem,
He gonna
do it again. That's why he can't speak up. That's his style.
Yeah. They both have paperwork saying that they're the headliner. They produced this paperwork. So the promoter ain't shit. Like, and his ass is not saying anything.
Yep. And he pulled the Dot Comedy. He pulled the Joey LaFaro.
What are you talking about?
He put two people on and didn't pay him. That is a
thing
Joey.
that
That is
done.
what we go around here call a Joey LaFaro.
It's not.
Well, that's the one thing that neither one of them has complained about. Everybody must have got paid the right amount because nobody ain't said shit about that.
That's the crazy part. That's what I thought too. I thought the first thing was going to be, hey, he didn't even the promoter didn't pay me because DL put all this stuff in the atmosphere.
No, nobody said shit about that. Everybody got their money apparently because she would have said it if she didn't get her money.
Yeah. So if Daddy did a bad contract,
that's why they're not. That's why she's going in on DL and not the promoter.
Yeah.
Right, because she got her money.
Yeah.
Here's my thing though. If my contract says that I'm the headliner, then I bet you my paycheck is headliner money because I was contracted to be the headliner. I don't care if you put me on second, third, whatever. I'm getting the most money on the show. Let me go first. Let me shut it down so he can't follow me because I'm getting paid headliner money anyway. So what does it matter if I go on first? It was not about money. It was about ego. She didn't want to feel like she was opening for DL Hughley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's unfortunate. I try to stay away from commenting on celebrity stuff, because people are people. And, if I was in that position and, everybody had a comment and opinion on my business, I mean, shut the fuck up, ho. That's my, my kind of thing. But, when you get to talking about people and families and stuff, it's like all bets are off. You know what I mean? And I just think it was real low to bring up his daughter. I think that as a comedian, my job is to make people laugh. So even if there was some flack behind the scenes, okay, I'm gonna go out here, I'm gonna do my job. I might have to be somebody's ass when I come off stage, but I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna make these people laugh. They didn't come there to see that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't put that on the stage,
right?
I think that's what most comedians that are talking about this have all stated is the audience didn't pay for that.
Right.
They didn't.
They didn't hear you Joan on DL for 20 minutes.
But she said that, she left the stage to a standing ovation. So that speaks to her ability as a comic, that she was able to dump all of that heavy shit on them in the beginning, make the whole room tight and uncomfortable, and still make them laugh enough to bring the room down. So I mean that's good.
Talent doesn't mean you get to act any which way you want.
No, absolutely not. I'm just saying that speaks to how talented she is, that she was able to come in there, make everybody tight and uncomfortable, and still make everybody laugh to a standing ovation so that when she ended. But my thing is this, the more and more you hear her talk, the more and more you realize she's the problem. Like, I've been trying to be on her side since the very beginning, since she wanted us to boycott Netflix. I've been trying to be on her side because she's so talented, and women do get so much shit, not just in this industry, but in general, right? So I was like, I wanted to be on Team Monique, but the more you hear her talk, the more you can see that she is the problem. She's toxic.
And I think that it'll be easier to get behind her if it didn't seem like it's giving very, with her husband, it's giving very Svengali, your arm up my ass vibes. So if you ain't had this dude sitting, hovering over you like Ike Turner, you know what I'm saying, the whole time, then it might be easier for me to, and maybe that's, and maybe I'm triggered, our experiences shape us. But, I was married 100 years ago, and I was married to somebody I had to be very, conscious, you know what I mean? And, that whole thing. So that's the vibe I get from them. And even to the point of like,
you get the vibe that he's the controlling one? Because I get the vibe that she is.
No, I get the vibe that, like for instance, like I said, I've been in entertainment a long time. God couldn't bless me with the success, the fast success that I've had in comedy. He couldn't have done that 10 years ago because I'd have let a nigga fuck it up for me. You feel what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So it's very that vibe, when I see them together. And for her to be such I'm trying to think, it was some other celebrity that they were talking about, and it's always a question of Tamar Braxton, when they talking about how she's all this and that and popping, and then it came out that she was in an abusive marriage and everything. That's why those women have to have this persona of being such a strong, fierce force. You know what I'm saying? Because that counters what's going on at home.
What's going on at home? Okay.
So that's just the vibe I get from them. I ain't trying to psychoanalyze everything. I ain't got no letters behind my name, but that's just what I see,
But that makes what she's doing with his family even worse, because like DL's daughter said the following. She said, out of all things you could have legitimately said about my dad, if that's the route you wanted it to take, you chose to deliberately be mean and hurtful to two black women who have nothing to do with this conversation. Using my mama and my sister to show people my father's character only shows how little mental stability, dignity, morality, and respect you have not only for yourself, but other black women.
Ooh. Especially with the sexual angle. Like, talk about a bitch wig or you know what I'm saying? But, she came at both of them from a sexual angle, which I hate how women are always, you can never be right when it comes to like sex-based things as a woman. Like even back to comedy, like we were talking about, women being funny, women get judged for, men have this Madonna horror complex. So if a woman is talking about sex, lots of female comics, our comedy is about sex and dating and relationships. And for us to understand that comedians work through trauma on stage, but we don't readily make the connection that female comics talk about sex because that's where our trauma lies. And then for that young lady to be 13 years old at the time, you don't know what you dredging up for her. You don't know what you triggering for her. That's fucked up all the way around. And if it was my child,
Monique is a victim of sexual abuse herself. That's what makes it so awful.
People justify it. You know, that's how people justify that hazing mentality. You know, well, I've been through it, so I can say this. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. It's awful. And if it was my child, you want to call me a bitch because of how I handle something that delicate, then I got your bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole thing is it's just way out of bounds for me.
I haven't heard this her latest rant. What exactly did she say about DL's daughter's sexuality? Like, first of all, what did she say? Yeah, what did she say?
Well, she didn't say she talked about it. So she used a clip from his show where he previously had talked about it on his show.
Yeah, he was on Sway, and he basically came out and said, I screwed up. I didn't believe my daughter when she first said it because I thought I knew the character of the person of the accused. So he was dismissive of his daughter's initial thing. And so she then decided to go in on DL for that, saying, well, you're a coward. You're a piece of shit for not believing your daughter. But she used that moment where he came out and was expressing like, hey, I screwed up, to then attack him on. And then, but by doing so, basically threw his whole family situation under the bus.
So 2 things. That is such just a low beneath the belt move. Like, come on, that's terrible. Like, you want to take such a vulnerable, sad, sensitive moment in their family when he's already admitted he's wrong about it, and then try to like punch below the. That's awful. That shows her as being an awful person. And then secondly, what I've noticed about people who have been victims of childhood abuse is like they approach the world like everyone is their abuser. They've never really healed from that. So they're kind of approaching the world like they're always a victim. You know what I mean? So if you listen to her first live, she literally pointed out everybody who's ever hurt her. Like, she went way back. She was like, and Vivica Fox said this, and Lee Daniels said that. She was just pointing out anybody who's ever said anything hurtful to her since the beginning of her comedy community. And you can tell her comedy career, and you can tell she just lives in a lot of hurt all the time.
Yeah, that's some healing need to take place there.
Yeah, she just is like stewing in pain and hurt all the time. And then that's why she always feels like, well, you know, she mentioned it. She was like, I don't fuck with nobody and everybody fucks with me. That is the lens through which she sees the world, because she's like living from her pain. If you listen to it, you could, that's the vibe that I got.
Well, it's about to get worse because DL's daughter went on to say, you're disgusting and absolutely need to keep every single member of my family's name out your poisonous mouth. Not because you can do us harm, you can't, but because you are adding to the historical and systematic disrespect and trauma of other Black women who you claim to love, and for what? A check? She then concluded the message by offering an invitation to talk about this in person, which Monique appears to have taken her up on. So,
but DL did answer that too.
Oh, he did?
He said, you will never be on my fucking show. I don't need nothing to fucking do with you. You are dead to me. You are dead to my family. You don't exist.
And probably to a lot of people because of how far she took it. You know what I mean? You thought you was blackballed before. That ball about to get black as a bitch on you. You know what I'm saying?
I'm about to say bye to her in a minute because she was supposed to get on this season of BMF, and now she's gonna be persona non grata in a minute.
Wait, she was supposed to be on this season of what?
BMF.
What's that?
50 Cent show. The Black Mafia family.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. Oh, and that's how I knew she was toxic. When she shouted out Curtis Jackson, I was like, she's friends with 50 Cent. Oh yeah, she toxic because he's like a horrible person.
Well, he was giving her second shot. You know what I'm saying? He had tweeted about, you know, Monique, you know, something about, you know, she didn't pay her dues, got to give her flowers, got to get her working again. And right. You know, he was kind of bringing her back in. And especially with that, like, you know, I just wouldn't have done all that. With my, you know, like I try to focus on what's good and what's going right. I just wouldn't have done all that if I'm at this place. I'd have been out of the industry this long and I'm about to make my big comeback. That's where my energy would be.
It's a weird place to die, a weird hill to die on. Like it's a really weird hill to die on.
Yep.
Over a headliner spot, you know.
That's ego. She did not want to feel like she was opening for DL Hughley. Even if they had billed it as co-headliners, she might have been okay with that. But she's like, I'm not opening for this nigga. He was like he opened on Kings of Comedy, and I was the closer. I was the headliner on Kings of Comedy. Now, listen to what she's referencing. Some shit from 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
But whatever. But it was all about ego. She was like, I'm not opening for him. He should be opening for me.
I think her husband got a battery in her back too, because that's they got a. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It was a half-empty show in Detroit, where the whole show was great black comics, and black people said, "I ain't going to that shit," because it was a half-empty damn show. I listened to Corey Holcomb talk about the show and talk about what was happening in it. Our listeners, if you're out there listening, I advise you to go on YouTube and find the clip of Corey Holcomb talking about this situation. It is quite possibly the funniest thing I've ever heard. And Corey Holcomb doesn't pull no punches when it comes to anybody. So when he goes in on Monique, he goes in deep. And again, I don't condone putting down people, especially people who are truly hurt. And these sound like the rantings of a hurt person,
right?
But at the end of the day, you can't keep hurting people.
No. Well, that's what they say, right? Hurt people hurt people.
Yeah. That's what I say. I told my daughter that today. Like, you got to be careful around broken bitches, man. Like, if you break a glass in your sink and you stick your hand in that water, it's gonna get cut. Yeah. Broken things cut you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And ain't nobody got time for no broken bitches.
And the fact that it's still going on. He said what he said, she said what she said, and I thought that it was over. I didn't know. I would still be tuned in if I knew it was still going on, but I thought it was over.
Thought we were done here.
Oh my God.
Oh man. Speaking of craziness, Joey, isn't that Amber Heard thing over with?
Yes.
So did they find her guilty of shitting in the bed?
They kind of found both of them guilty.
She literally shit the bed.
So because she referred to herself as a public figure representing domestic abuse, she countersued Mr. Depp, saying that he defamed her when his former lawyer released statements saying her allegations were a hoax. So
did she win that one? Or are they going back to trial?
I don't know. I think that the jury came away with the same conclusion I had, which is it sounds like they're both toxic.
Yeah, I just find the whole thing highly offensive as a nigga to stay in court. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what we doing. We this is what we doing. You know, the Constitution and shit, like court of law. This is what we doing. You know what I mean?
I have mixed feelings about it because people don't believe women. I really haven't followed it as much. But I'm sure at least some of her allegations have some merit to it. And people were so quick to rally around Johnny Depp and not believe her. And it just, I don't know. It can't.
No, people rallied around her, I think, initially. But I don't think anybody's blameless in that situation. And that doesn't excuse it. That doesn't excuse it. But I do think it's a difference between a man abusing a woman and two motherfuckers fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
I think that's
exactly. So I mean, I didn't watch enough of it to have an opinion, but I know that when anything goes down, society's tendency is to crucify the woman. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely, for sure. But like the burden of proof is always on us. Always. The whole "what were you wearing" type shit. But if you heard any of those recordings of her, the way she talked to that man, that's not a bitch that's getting popped in the mouth.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
I'll take it.
It was awful. When you have time, go listen to some of those things.
Yeah. So it really was her. It was her.
It was both their ass. But Johnny Depp be drunk on the stand, so he chilling. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, but he seems so unbothered. That's another thing. Is whenever I see like him, he just has like a smirk, and he just doesn't seem like this is a difficult time that he's going through. All of it is suspect a little bit.
Well, here's part of the problem, right? He's a really good actor, and she's a really bad one. So,
and therein lies the problem.
Well, so to your point, though, about him kind of being aloof, Johnny Depp was not in the room when they issued the verdict.
Where the fuck is he at? What the thing had to do?
Well, I'm not even talking about that time. I'm just talking about all the pictures and videos I've seen of him on the stand. He almost has like a smirk on his face, like he's almost like he's talking to his buddy.
That's all clips
A
of
lot
him
of that-
smirking.
A lot of that was him laughing at her
The absurdity.
her legal team. Because her legal team was saying some clown-ass shit.
Okay, all right.
Her lawyer was a jackass.
All her lawyers were dumb.
They kept asking. They kept just accusing. It's all hearsay. And then
She should have hired me.
He would start speaking, and then he would just say he would stop, and he would wait, and then like 5 seconds later, hearsay.
So
it was very what's the name of that show? The Keystone Cops, but in court.
Yeah.
You know, it was very amateur night. Like I think I'd have done a better job. My court record is like 4-1. You know what I mean? So I think I'd have done better.
At one point,
I'm 0-9. I can't go to court. Every time I go, I got to freeze.
Call me.
Okay, I will do.
At one point, Johnny was talking about something, and the lawyer goes, "Oh, well, let's respect the court's time." He's like, "You just spent 5 minutes looking for a document you were supposed to have."
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you mean respect the court's
And I think
time?
Jason Momoa was on acid when he did his bit. That was pretty hilarious.
I couldn't tell if that was
Jason
real
Momoa?
or not.
I don't know if it was. It seemed like it was real because they kept pointing. They kept going back to the gallery, and people were laughing in the gallery. Obviously, they were in the gallery, so people were dying laughing. So I thought that shit was real.
I couldn't tell. I just saw a clip of that, but he was very, very amused.
I couldn't get over the guy that they interviewed who was like in his van, and he started smoking a vape, and then he just drove off in the middle of the. And the judge just like he wanted
This trial sounds like complete chaos. I'm glad I didn't follow.
It was.
So
That's why it happened in Virginia.
So even right down to the
Represent.
Here's how it ended. Amber Heard waited for the verdict in the courtroom next to her attorneys. Johnny Depp was in the United Kingdom as he was making surprise appearances at Jeff Beck gigs and did not make it back to the U.S. So he watched the verdict live from the U.K. On Wednesday, June 1st, the jury found Ms. Heard defamed Mr. Depp by publicly accusing him of domestic abuse. The jury also found that Mr. Depp proved Mrs. Heard lied about her allegations. In Heard's countersuit against Depp, the jury found that Depp's former attorney, Adam Waldman, publicly defamed her. So Heard now owes Johnny Depp $15 million, and Depp now owes Heard $2 million.
I have a question. He wasn't there for the verdict. You can't just not show up for court like that, right? Like you can't just do that. Like if you have a trial, you're supposed to be in court, or else you get a bench warrant for not showing up when you're supposed to be in court.
You're the defendant.
You don't have
Maybe if it's civil, it's not that thing. If you're in criminal court, then yeah. But I think maybe if it's civil, you can send your attorney.
Yeah, if you have an attorney, you don't have to be in court.
What the fuck is going on in Virginia that they have 7 jurors? I don't understand the system.
Get out of here! You could just not I gotta go to this soccer game in London. I'm not gonna be at court today. Like, what kind of shit is that?
If it's civil and like domestic stuff, a lot of times the attorneys can just represent your interests.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. He didn't want to be there. Like,
Well,
this is your court case. Do you want to be present? This is an important thing. I don't know.
We got some supposed inside information because one of the jurors decided to speak out anonymously after the verdict. So today was my last day of being a juror on the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, and I wish to remain anonymous, but I thought I'd give some insight on my thoughts about the trial. I don't follow pop culture too much, so I haven't really been a fan of Johnny Depp or Amber Heard, so I felt I was pretty unbiased about the whole thing. But from the very beginning, when Amber Heard was testifying, everything just seemed so off with how she kept making eye contact with me. It made me extremely uncomfortable to where I could no longer look over at her when she was giving her answers. The juror continued to speak out, saying, I would just listen intently, and everything she was saying came off like bullshit.
That's that. And I don't know if y'all had planned to bring Elon Musk into this because apparently they used to date. You know what I'm saying? But like that just confirms my suspicions of, like you said, she's a bad actress, but she's a good whore. So that whole yes. Whore. I didn't say hoe. Let me explain. Let me explain. And And this isn't like whole like derogatory term for a woman's sexual proclivities or what have you. I mean whore.
Just
I
be the
mean like
sex worker.
saloon girl, that eye contact thing. I'm trying to woo you, sway you, like a pimp, if she looks, she gone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you don't look a
Okay.
pimp in the eye, kind of thing. So I think that just confirms that whole vibe that I get from her. Like they were talking about, I think like didn't her acting coach or some director or somebody testified that she could never cry on cue. That's why she on stage on the stand sobbing with no tears and stuff. So
She ain't know how to cry.
It was
Right.
They had somebody testify that she was never able to cry on cue. Her acting coach.
I think I remember reading that.
That's hilarious.
Isn't it?
there was
Like
another-
her acting coach was on stand, was like, "Yeah, this got to be real because she ain't shit. She
Because this
can't.
what she
fucking-
do. This
She
bitch
can't act
never.
like this.
We got to get the drops for her. You know
So-
what I'm saying?
That's hilarious."
I've seen this clip about 1,000 times, but I never heard the context. What was that whole "my dog stepped on a bee" thing?
I didn't hear that part.
So, because it's become a TikTok challenge. Like, so she was talking about something, and she goes, "My dog stepped on a bee," and she just makes a weird facial gesture, and then like people cut to TikTok, and then they just like rhyme with it. It's like,
Yes,
the
we
dog
covered
stepped-
that. I've
it's
seen
like,
that.
Oh, I banged my knee.
I got to check that out.
It took on a life of its own, but I don't remember. Like, what was the like, I can't.
There was a whole WWE one that I saw. That I thought it was fucking hilarious.
I just don't understand what was the point of what was she talking about there, and what was that weird noise she made after she said it?
I think she may have been explaining the dog shit in the bed.
How do you end with a verdict of she owes 15 and he owes 2? So shouldn't the verdict just be she owes 13?
No,
I mean,
because
you have to have it on record.
defamation isn't it's not one person defamed or the other person. Both of them defamed. So the
But
defamation.
he only did $2 million worth of defaming and she did $15 million worth of defaming?
I guess so.
Yes.
Because
Well,
again,
Johnny was suing for a lot more
he
than
was-
that.
he was-
Okay, hold on.
more
If
money
both people got defamed, why does it not just cancel out?
because Johnny lost trillions of dollars.
Oh, okay. So they're basing it on loss of income.
Yeah,
Yeah. Disney fired him quick.
Keep in
yeah.
mind, they didn't find Johnny guilty of defamation. They found his lawyer guilty.
Yeah,
of
his
defamation.
lawyer defamed her.
Oh. Details.
Okay.
I'm not sure it's actually going to come out of his pocket.
No, that's the lawyers. That's
That's the lawyer's problem now.
like when Trump's lawyers paid that hooker all that money. Remember, it wasn't Trump's money. It's the lawyer.
I don't know, but the lawyer represents Johnny Depp. So how
He
did
just
he
gonna
get
add
out
it to
of
his bill. He
I
gonna add it
didn't-
to his bill.
Yeah, but like, why are,
I'm just saying, like, how did Johnny Depp get out of it? It's like, oh, I didn't defame her. My lawyer defamed her. Well, the lawyer's just quoting you,
because
right?
the lawyer said no necessarily because the lawyer can say stuff that the lawyer said. And then are you culpable because your lawyer said some stupid shit?
No,
The
Well,
lawyer said
the
it was a
lawyer
hoax.
is the person who speaks for you legally. That's the point of it.
It depends on when it happens. Like if it happened as part of the court proceedings, that's different than he said something out in public prior to trial.
Mhm.
That's
Oh, okay. Well, I thought we were talking about in court.
no, that's
No.
not when your countersuit came before the
because
Oh.
what they were trying to prove throughout the whole thing was that Amber Heard wrote the op-ed piece first and foremost because she kept saying she didn't write it.
Right.
And then she was like, oh, and when she was on the stand, she said, "Oh yeah, I wrote it," but it was true. And it's like, wait, you said you didn't write it, so why are we all here? If you really did this shit, we should have been gone 2 weeks ago. And then
And- And even if like the lawyer made that statement as part of the proceedings, like apparently it wasn't sealed because we were all watching it. So,
Yeah.
court is public record. So that's still a public statement.
Yeah.
Why do I know so much about court?
It's interesting. It's interesting.
we're glad that we have you for this
Uh,
discussion.
a flag went up.
Was it red?
Speaking of courts,
what else going on, Joe?
the Supreme Court has declined to hear the case from the couple that pointed guns at the BLM protests. If you recall, there were two attorneys in Missouri, the McCloskeys, one of whom had a nice mustard stain on the T-shirt when they decided to point their guns at the BLM protesters as they walked by on the
They
street
were
in
at a
front of their
barbecue.
house. they lost their law licenses over it because
Yeah.
pointing the weapons at the protesters went from, hey, we're holding our Second Amendment rights to, oh, that's assault with a weapon.
You would think lawyers would have a better handle on this.
Come on.
So they try to take it to the Supreme Court, and you fucked up with the most conservative Supreme Court. Says, nah, y'all are.
They're like, nah.
Hey, wrong is just wrong in this instance.
Yeah.
You can't win every fight, white people. Just so you're aware, you can't win all the arguments. So we let those tragic whites live on with their misgivings. And
Not the tragic whites.
The tragic whites. Those are the tragic whites.
The tragic whites, like Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yes.
Who now says he's going to Texas A&M, and Texas A&M says,
nope.
No, you ain't.
But see, that's exactly what happened. Like, just to compare those two right quick. I live in Virginia, gun capital of everywhere outside of Texas. But
Yep.
That's the difference. People who are about that gun life, you got to be about that gun life. They know the law. Kyle Rittenhouse knew the law. That's why he got off. These two people just standing outside. One of them goofy as a bitch holding the gun. Wrong. You got your finger on the trigger. They an embarrassment to the establishment.
Yes.
She literally.
That's what that was about.
Pew pew.
Everybody.
But speaking of doing the law, here's the thing about Kyle Rittenhouse. So yes, he was clearly being pursued by a mob and defended himself. You can see that right on the video. But the questions that aren't answered, or the thing that's not considered, is you were across state lines and you had a gun that you couldn't have licensed to yourself because you were underage. So it's like there were a bunch of laws that he did break that didn't get considered, so that we can acquit him of the one that he was following.
Well, I don't know the laws in that particular state, and I'm about to raise another flag because I know a lot about guns too. But
well, you live in Virginia, so
I live in
that's
Virginia.
as it should be.
But there's a difference between purchasing a weapon and operating a weapon. So, like, I own guns. When I go to the range, I can take my when she was 16, I could take my 16-year-old with me, and she could fire whatever I brought in there. You know what I'm saying? She couldn't go purchase it. So, like, as far as like crossing the state lines, that's on his mama. You know what I mean?
Right.
So once he was in that place and subject to the laws of that state, I don't know, and I don't know the law, but I don't know that there's a law against him possessing that weapon and operating that weapon.
Well, there was a whole line of questioning that he had to go through where his cousin or something got the gun for him because he was underage and couldn't get the gun legally himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
so
that's the thing.
So you're telling me that there's a difference between being old enough to purchase a gun and being old enough to actually fire a gun.
Definitely, because people come up hunting all the time. Like if you're a responsible gun owner and you hunt deer or quail or whatever, your 14-year-old, people here shoot young. You know what I mean? And that's perfectly legal, when it's sanctioned and within the confines of the law. But there is a difference between, like, you can in Virginia you can purchase a shotgun at 18, but you can't purchase a handgun until 21. But you can fire either one at 16, 14 if you come to the range with your mama or whatever,
So you can legally operate a firearm at, I guess, whatever age.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't affect, like, if you kill somebody on purpose or by accident, it doesn't. I ain't say all that. I'm asking, like, does it come into play that you weren't even old enough to even purchase this weapon? Are those things independent when they're considering that you have murdered a person?
A lot of times, and I don't want to speak specifically to murder because I just don't know, and I don't want to be wrong. But when it comes to like the specifics, a lot of times it depends on where you are. So like those of us who are from the South, we don't take our guns above Virginia. You know what I mean? Because New Jersey don't play that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of places don't play that. So it don't matter how old you were in Jersey, where your mama was at, some places it's just a hard no. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's more of a like kind of when in Rome do thing. But also in Virginia, people get in trouble all the time. Kids shoot each other accidentally because they're unsecured guns in the home. So it's always like a case by case basis as far as like culpability and because yes, you can take your child to a gun range and legally allow them to fire that weapon. But, in your home, you're responsible for it. You're supposed to have a gun safe. You're supposed to have trigger lock. So, whatever those measures are.
It seems to me that what you're talking about, how you can take your 14-year-old hunting with you, or you can take your daughter to the range with you, that is a supervised,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like you are there as the person who's the supervisor for a minor. So
Right.
him just being 15 or however he was with this automatic weapon across state lines by himself, I mean, I can't see where that wouldn't be illegal or problematic. That's the part
it wouldn't have been had he not shot motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where it gets, you know.
If he had crossed the line in New York, he would have gotten his ass written up because they don't play with guns at all.
They don't play that at all. No.
But he's gonna shoot up a school. I swear. Like looking at this, ASU already dropped him because he was attending Arizona State before the trial.
Yeah.
And then ASU students bullied ASU into dropping him. And now other schools aren't picking him up. Meanwhile, he's saying that the Johnny Depp Amber Heard defamation trial inspired him, so he wants to sue.
He wants to sue Biden.
Media and Joe Biden. He also posted a video of himself shooting off a automatic firearm, which don't think that's
God. Is he completely tone deaf? Why would he do that?
Yes.
Why would he do that?
He's emboldened.
He said, Joe Biden, you're not coming for our guns. He's gonna
my God.
But the thing is, you gotta
never get photographed with any kind of weapon in my hand.
You gotta understand, he's like the darling of the NRA. He never has to pay for a drink in his life. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like the NRA all but runs this country. You know what I'm saying? So like the protective bubble that he's in, like maybe he'll never go to college, but he'll also probably never need to. I guarantee you're gonna start seeing him speaking at conventions. Maybe not because he's not that smart, but like as far as like his celebrity status in that community amongst those,
he's
people,
like the poster boy for guns now. Okay.
Yeah, for vigilantism, not just guns. Yeah.
And he gonna go and shit up a school because they're not letting him in. I guarantee it. It's gonna happen.
He wouldn't. Again, he's more of a low hanging fruit
kind
of guy. He's a low hanging fruit kind of guy. He'd do it elementary school because he's an idiot.
Because somebody in college conceivably, he could be overpowered or whatever. That's somebody on his level. He's not a real big guy either. You know what I'm saying?
No, he's a coward.
Yes.
He's a little bitch.
He's a coward. And his wife's sucking it. Oh, wait, that's wrong.
You got to say his mama.
What makes you say
mama's sucking a coward's dick?
Hold on. What makes you think that he's a coward? What makes you say that he's a cowardly? Because he's shooting people with guns?
Well,
because he went into a situation
where he shouldn't have been
to be able to shoot people with a gun.
Yeah.
He just wanted to shoot a gun. Like there's no reason that you're actually trying, he didn't need to be in there. You don't do that to protect things.
He wasn't.
He's not going to. He was 100% across state lines with the intention to incite violence. 100%.
Definitely.
You don't go across a line with it. Yeah, and it's not like you know someone over there that you're trying to help.
He was protecting Habib Motors for no reason at all. He didn't need to be there. So
he was like, "Hey, wait, niggas are acting up over here. Let me bring my gun and go see what's going on." That was his train of thought.
All right, Joey, what else we got going on?
If he wasn't a coward, he would have joined the military already.
True.
Okay. No, I totally
don't want him because he's a fucking retard.
No, that's exactly who they want, baby.
I just wanted to elaborate.
Disrespect for the retards, Joey. Can't disrespect retards like that.
Sorry, I need to stop using that word.
No, you don't. Hashtag they're good.
What does that mean?
Huh? They're good. Like whenever instead of saying hashtag something bad, you go say hashtag they good.
That's just all right.
You win that way. Well, let's hit this last one. What's going on, Joe?
All right. So in ahead of the Roe v. Wade decision, because it still technically hasn't been released yet, an abortion rights advocate jumped over barricades and chained his neck to a fence surrounding the United States Supreme Court building as he chanted, "Overturn Roe, hell no."
He's trying to get some pussy.
Footage of the event.
Trying to get some pussy. That is a pussy move.
That's all. And he gonna get it too in droves.
Let that man advocate for women's rights. Let him do what he wants to do now.
He has a bike lock around his neck.
When I read bits and pieces of this, Joey, only one name came to mind, and that was Jason Blue Brand, because he seems like the type to do it. He seems like the type to chain himself to a fence for women's rights. But When you said jumped,
Well, this
I knew
can't
it wasn't
be-
Jason.
Women's rights are human rights. They're coming from us first, and then you're next. Like you can't just let them take things away because
What am
No.
I
no
next?
one will be unaffected.
No. Wait.
Okay.
The guy identified himself as Guido Reichstatter.
Oh, he's an old Italian kraut.
That's not a
Wait,
real
he's
name.
got an Italian first name and like a German last name.
Italian
Yeah.
kraut.
He's
Guinea kraut.
multicultural.
What kind of shit is that?
That's
Guido,
that's
what
a
was
made
that
up name.
Reisenberg, what was it?
Reichschlagen. Right?
Reichstatter.
Reichstart.
He is
Let's
all the
ask
way
him again
European.
when they press charges. I don't think that's a real name. that's a name that he made up because he know how much pussy he fitting to get, and he ain't got time for everybody to be stalking his real Facebook. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that's about.
Tell me you fuck
Stephen
Raw without
Jones.
telling me you fuck Raw.
Stephen Jones, also known as Guido Startmeister.
Maybe he's a person of color and he didn't want to get recognized
Oh,
as
no,
such, so
he's
he
not.
picked the most European name he could possibly. It's like, what are two countries in Europe? Okay, Guido Reichschnatter. That's what I'm going to
got a picture of.
I
He is-
might think he might if it weren't for the chains.
Oh,
Yeah,
true.
We wouldn't put a chain around our neck and sit outside a courthouse. That's called.
We ain't going to no court voluntarily anyhow.
That's true. That is
I went
Caucasian behavior.
I went to get my marriage license. My knees was knocking like a motherfucker. I don't do no court.
I thought he was holding up draws when I first saw
I
this.
did
That's
too.
not-
That looks like
that's
that's
not
not
a
draws.
Freedom panties.
That's
No.
a song.
That's a thong. That's got to
That
be
is
a
not-
thong.
And apparently, it's a.
Or is that a Jets flag? That's either a Jets flag or a thong. I don't
If
know.
that's a thong, then I'm envious of whoever he got that from because I always wanted one of those panoramic vaginas, like you put an IMAX movie on it. I just got the regular standard factory joint, but whoever's thong that is,
it's
kudos to you,
a
ma'am.
handkerchief. It has the website that he supports. Rise Up for Abortion Rights.
Okay.
The number
That was bad.
What was it again? Get an erection for abortion rights? What was it again?
Yeah, basically.
You better get hard for
There it
abortion
is,
rights.
right there.
Get
Just-
it up
just
for
a-
abortion rights.
Just the tip of abortion.
You ever hear the phrase "I don't like my allies"? There's so many reasons not to like this ally.
Don't help. Don't help.
Not helping.
They're gonna be okay.
Well, listen, somebody got to do something. We just sitting here on this podcast. Let Third Reich go up in there and let him protest.
Let him fly his flag
Guido
with his
Third
with his
Reich
poorly
Watch.
designed graphics.
Jesus.
Jesus, pick a fucking European country. Seriously.
Oh, yeah, he did. He picked two.
Eat cannoli and drink Hefeweizen. The fuck are you doing?
That is
Oh,
quite the name he's got there.
Oh man, we're gonna get out of here for the week, Joe.
Yeah.
It has been a fun episode of the Comedy Podcast.
Yes.
Man,
Yes.
but Miss Apple Brown Betty,
Yes, sir.
where can people find you at again, sweetheart?
I am apple.brown.betty on Instagram, and I'm just Brown Betty on Facebook. I am Sturdy Girl 6 on Twitter, but I don't be on Twitter because Twitter's mean and fuck them.
Ooh, Twitter is toxic as fuck. I can't.
Yeah. I can't
Twitter
do
is
it.
so savage, and I cannot. I want to delete my membership from Twitter so bad, but every day some toxic shit happens, and I'm like, no, they did.
Because they get the drop first. So if you like to stay on top of stuff, you will want to check
Yeah.
in. But yeah, ignorance is bliss for me.
Oh my god, it's so savage on there. It is Twitter is the jungle of the internet.
It is.
I only use it for football stuff.
Yeah, I use it for other stuff. But Candace, where can people find you at?
Just_Candace. That's Candace with a KANDYCE on all the apps.
All right, Joey LaFaro, where can they find you at, man?
I'm gonna spell this out for y'all because you can't seem to fucking get my name right.
It is
That was angry. That was very angry.
A little pointed.
Nah, because like I've like literally spent like 5 minutes at a fucking kiosk with somebody, some type of clerk, going L-A, and I'm like, no, L-O. I've spelled it.
I told you it's in how you say it. So you
gotta
always
say it phonetically.
You always say Joey LaFaro.
I
Say
said
Lo
L-O, and then they said L-A. There's no hope for that person.
But I'm saying specifically pronounce the O. Say Lo Faro, and then they'll get it.
My
No,
name
they
is
won't.
JoJo Lofaro.
So if you say it like that, if you drag out that O and emphasize it, then they'll get it.
Now see, now it sound like he back to handing out his tappy card and telling people he got a big dick. JoJo LaFaro. Don't that sound real 70s smooth?
JoJo LaFaro.
Lofaro, the Lothario.
If you keep pronouncing it like it's supposed to be pronounced and saying LaFaro, then they're not going to get it. You got to purposely mispronounce it. Say LaFaro.
I do.
Oh my
I've never heard you say your name as LaFaro. I hear you say it every week on this podcast, and you say LaFaro.
It's gonna be okay, Joey. I won't gang up on you.
And then black people gonna put like L-I-L, Joey LaFaro.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's either they make it L-A or they add an I in there somewhere.
Lil Faro.
Your daddy
you
named
have to
Faro.
emphasize that O until people start getting it. Emphasize that O. Say LaFaro.
But I'm saying I'm literally spelling it.
Oh, well, then there's no hope if they can't spell it.
Oh man, and I am DJ Marcus. You can find me at DJ Marcus Dad Comedy on Instagram, Twitter, and also you can find me on Facebook if you're looking for a DJ for any gigs going on with your family. DJ Marcus is the guy for you. I do quinceañeras now. I got my my Hispanic background. I've got the Hispanic backdrop and the big 16. It's just a time for your
15,
Okay,
baby.
that's a 15. It's a 15.
Quince.
You're not about to get hired for not near a quinceañera if you don't even know what number it is. You better show up with a 6 sign.
I gotta order a new balloon sign.
That's why you got 5 in the ha-ha hole.
Hey, I am performing at the Hoochie Hut
I was just saying,
in Luxembourg, Kentucky. Come on by every Thursday from 12:45 to 6:15. Spinning the hits right before Cinnamon gets on stage number 2.
Amen.
Cinnamon gets on at 6:14, and I get off at 6:14. What's up, Joey?
I just wanted to mention we're back at comedy shows near me this Thursday at McGinty's in downtown.
Yes, we
Silver
are. Yes, we
Spring.
are.
This week we have Magooby's comedy competition, comedy of the year. Nikki Knowles and Ryan Nazer will be in the building.
Awesome.
And mark your calendars because July 28th, Miss Apple Brown Betty will be joining us.
Okay.
Headlining that show.
I'm gonna have to take a special night and come down to a comedy show near me. Because I did quit officially today. Today was my last day working for comedy shows near me. I wish them the best of luck with their future endeavors. I hope that they can find another Candace to be on their show because they had not put the best one on. Ain't that right, Candace?
I don't want to talk about it.
Only time she doesn't.
Thank you. But I am DJ Marcus for Joey LaFaro. Candace August, our special guest this week, Miss Apple Brown Betty. We will see you next time. More fun and more thrills on the
Comedy Podcast.
Y'all have a good night.
You too.
too.